Welcome to Grant's Rock Warehouse and to the Warehouse Record Store Day interview. Today, we are presenting our Blue Ash interview that we did on Record Store Day, April 18th of this year. We are at Get Hip Recordings in Pittsburgh. They had a signing session. They were selling records. It was a wonderful record store day in Pittsburgh. But we have Jim Kendzor and we have Frank Secich here. They're back. They're going to talk to us. Let's
Serving up riffs hotter than Hellfire Chili with a beer chaser. Grant's Rock Warehouse.
Welcome to Grant's Rock Warehouse, and today we are in Pittsburgh. DC is with me today.
Hello, folks. I'm off camera.
And he's to the left. We also have Frank Secich
And
Jim Kendzor. You've seen both of these gentlemen. Here we, and you know this is just going to be an experience. So anyway, we're in Pittsburgh. They just had a record release signing.
Yeah, Record Store Day.
It's Record Store Day.
Record Store Day all over America.
And this is how we are celebrating it today. So I want to welcome the boys here today. We thought we would sit down and chat a little bit. Now, as everybody knows in the warehouse, we've already chatted before, but we had some technical snafus. But we thought we'd just take a little time to bring Frank and Jim on, and since they're here and we're here, why not have a little discussion?
We drove all the way over here from central Illinois
Yes.
and central Ohio to be here, so let's bring the A recording
Yes.
material with us and do it upright.
Oh, Pittsburgh's a good place to do it. It's a great town.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, let's talk about your experience in Pittsburgh. You guys have played in Pittsburgh.
We started playing here in 1970,
70 it was.
and we would play here 4 or 5 nights a week, different places. Every school,
Bob
every
Mack.
club, every teen dances. Bob Mack's teen dances at Tarina and Tarentum and Mount Lebanon Lodge and the Zodiac Club out in Irwin. But we were here all the time. But that's when the mills were all going real hot, and it would rain all the time because the smoke and everything. The soot
One of
came
the
from
first times I've ever
It was
been to
like
Pittsburgh
London here.
without
It was
rain.
all rain. This is unusual today for us to see all this.
Well, I was going to.
For us, anyhow.
Well, DC and I drove through, and I'd never really been to Pittsburgh. I'd been to IKEA. That's as far as
Yeah.
I went. And I was going, man, if I lived here, I would start a brake business for car brakes
Tire business.
and a tire
Potholes,
business.
fix the potholes for asphalt.
Your alignment, all that stuff.
I've never seen a town quite like this to the extent of where it's. I don't know who designed this place, but it's
Well, the lay of the land was here, and then they built upon it.
built around it.
They
But
built Fort Pitt here back when it was, they drove canoes down the
Well,
rivers.
it was actually Fort Duquesne before that. This was New France here.
Yeah.
And then-
Okay.
and it's
Yeah,
a-
that's right. The French started it. Yeah.
It's an awesome city vibe. It's tangible. It's a very cool city.
A lot of roughnecks here.
A lot of roughnecks, but lots of great Italian food.
Oh,
too,
yeah.
I might
Oh,
add.
maybe the spaghetti district down there.
The Strip District, yeah. Have you been there?
I didn't know there was one.
Oh, yeah, that's down by Fort Pitt.
Yeah.
Is it still there?
Yeah, Penn Avenue in that area down there, right
I
downtown.
have no idea.
Yeah,
Only a
they
mile
still
or so.
got the fort downtown.
They do?
Yeah, it's a
On the-
jail.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're just here rapping. So, you guys have had, well, you played, what were the places you played again in Pittsburgh?
Lebanon
the day?
Lodge, the Tarina, Robert Morris College.
Every high school
Yeah,
in the
every high
area.
school, every college, University of Pittsburgh, every club. Lovin was a big one we played here. Yeah, all over the town. Swickley Academy, Fontbonne Academy, Bower Hill Community Church. So we were all through
You
Pittsburgh.
played everything.
Yeah, we were huge down here. We played here
What
constantly.
were those teen dances for
Bob Mack.
For Bob Mack.
Yeah, the Tarina, the
Yeah.
Zodiac Club in Irwin, and the Lebanon Lodge on
We
Route
would
19.
play at 3 clubs in one.
We tear down our equipment, do a
tear it
20-minute
down,
set.
go to another place and play. They go
Yeah.
do 3 jobs in a day.
We once played 4 jobs in a day down here. Jeff Jones had to work.
Oh.
Jeff, you're killing us. We'd start like 10 in the morning at some
Yeah.
school or something.
I sounded like Naughty Holder by the time we got to the last
My
one.
gig number 4.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, by the way.
Slate covers. We're gonna have more
We
slate
did it.
covers.
He
than
was a
number
hero.
4.
Yeah.
I I'm still in a. Did I finish? I don't think I finished the Slade series yet. But we've been doing a Slade series on the channel where we've looked at all the records.
Yeah.
We'll look at 2 albums apiece.
Yeah.
Slade is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Slade, baby.
But
All these local groups, Youngstown proper, Northeast Ohio, Pittsburgh area here, you had your fans and they would follow you, and if you were appearing somewhere, they would be there.
They travel all
band,
over.
they travel all over.
Oh, you
to
met
see
a lot of
guys.
them here this afternoon.
There you go.
Still from 50 years
Yeah,
ago, 55 years
when we
ago.
played down here, we're totally different than anything that they had seen down here back in the day.
And speaking as a resident of the area back in the day, although I was a little bit too young to get into a lot of these venues, these were our boys. Blue Ash, Left In, all these local bands, even the older generation, they're our kids.
Yeah.
And everybody was behind them. And this, I'll just say for myself, it's a real thrill because I'm going back to 73 with my life and sitting there with, Frank, you want to hold up the
yeah, go ahead.
The
Yes.
young DC would be sitting in his room playing that album, flip it over, play it, flip it over, and just looking at these cats. And these were my musical heroes, and here I am sharing a physical environment with them. So this is a big deal for me. But you folks not in the know, the debut is an all-time power pop classic.
Yes.
And Jim, you want to hold up the latest?
Oh yeah, this is the new release, Blue Ash Rarities. We found some old music in our studio at Peppermint in Youngstown, and that's where we did all our recordings, and we got about 150 more that people
folks.
have never heard.
And also, folks,
And also,
this-
my book,
The yearbook!
it's a great
Chapter
read.
17, baby, that's me.
That's you, Chapter 17, everybody.
Actually, Dinner at Mr. Billy's has Pittsburgh foundations because it was Bob Mack who we first recorded for. And we got the idea while our guitar player, Bill Bartlett, had passed away in 2009. We were playing down here in 1970. We're south of Pittsburgh on 51. He sees this big sign, 50 feet tall, Mr. Billy's Restaurant. He goes, if we ever get to make an album, we've got to call it Dinner at Mr. Billy's. And we just started laughing our asses off. Thought it was funny.
They wrote the song.
So next day, Group and I wrote the song, and we recorded it, and then completely forgot about it. So when we were going through tapes to do this album, we got to do Mr. Billy's. It's got to be Dinner at Mr. Billy's.
Let's talk a little bit about that because I think it's fascinating. How did this project germinate and what was it like to go back through all these session tapes, and how in the world did you find out that these still existed?
Well, the guys at Peppermint, Dean Anschluss and Anthony Lamarca and Gary Raymond, they were planning on putting the Blue Ash thing up. But Dean and Anthony found out that the original Blue Ash tapes were owned by Drexel University because they're big in the business. And so, anyway, they tracked it down, so we put it off for about a year to do it. They tracked down the tapes, brought them to Youngstown. Jim and I went over with the guys and mixed them over there. So we had the first original tapes we did when we were 19 years old, 1970.
Yeah.
And
Sigma Sound down in Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. Really good studio down there.
Well, we have
They've got gold
this.
records on the wall down there. I mean, it's
This sounds
studio,
fantastic.
too.
So,
Folks, the new release of a lot of the 70s material, some of that material predates the debut.
Right.
You will be astounded at the tracks done by 18 and 19-year-olds from 1970. And there's also material from, all the way to 79.
Oh, yeah,
right?
it's like a Blue Ash prequel, really, is what it is. So you get a lot of the really raw stuff that we did when we were young, and a lot of times we would just do them for copyright reasons. We would just do them live in the studio.
played live in the studio.
3/4 of the album is live in the studio with just us blasting on one take, and he's nailing that stuff like that. It's unbelievable.
it's absolutely to hear Jim. Well, I already was blowing smoke up Jim's ass earlier. How fantastic he is.
I was eating it up.
And he was eating it up.
Keep it up. Come on.
No, but you listen, they were just kids on this record. And it is, you would have thought that these guys were studio veterans. I swear.
That's the thing that astounded me listening to these uncovered release tracks is that they predate the debut.
Yeah.
And you guys were, like I said, 18 and 19, and you were that polished. It's astounding to me.
And doing our own material.
You wrote the
even though we played out a lot of teen dances, we did cover songs, Beatles or who, and we always had half of our own material.
Yeah.
So half of that own material, who was pretty much writing all that stuff then? How did that work?
Pretty much me and Bill Bartlett, but Jim wrote Jim had a half dozen songs. He's got one of my favorites on here is "It's All Right by Me" that he wrote. Great song. It starts off side 2.
So after
And
not
I had
hearing
one
this,
on this album.
Yeah.
but after all these years and not hearing it, what was it like when you got a hold of them and you were going? I mean, was it? I can't imagine. You haven't heard it in years.
Who that?
Well, we were doing the one song. Like I said, we would do 30 songs in a day, sometimes just blowing through them. But when we were listening to She Cried for 15 Years, and it's Bill Bartlett singing on that, because we'd give Jim a break instead of singing 30 songs in a row. And he goes, you guys just do it for it. So Cupid and I are playing guitars, and when I'm listening back to it, like you asked me, I'm thinking, please, God, don't let us make a mistake on here, because I hadn't heard them in so long, because we could use this, it's so good. And then it went all the way through to the other. Okay,
Fantastic.
we didn't screw it up.
We haven't heard these again after we recorded them.
Yeah.
They picked out the songs that they wanted us to do for the album, our A&R guy from Mercury Records. And they knew sort of what they wanted, but they wanted to have the other stuff so that they could
plan other.
They had other plans, for going forward.
Right.
And unfortunately, it didn't happen. But
And Paul Nelson from Mercury Records, who signed us in late '72, he also signed the New York Dolls at the same time. So that was pretty cool.
yeah,
And it's an astounding life story, because how many bands have recorded that much material and never having heard it or even known it's still out there these many years, and then it's kind of dropped into your lap.
most places they record over the tape or get rid of them.
Like Gary Ramey at Peppermint saved everything. He has all the tapes actually in a big television box, where television is delivered, the old time television, and they're just stacked in there. So
all of our stuff.
And there's 4 or 5 songs on each tape. We go through all this stuff, and it just astounded us. But our deal when we signed with Peppermint in 1972 was we get 2 free days of recording, 12 hours a day, every month for 5 years. So we went in there religiously every month. And any new songs we had, we did. We also did about a dozen covers. There's Who covers, the Beatles one after 909, new covers in there. Lola by the Kinks we even did, and that are still in these things. The sound
Fantastic.
Yeah.
But they weren't, it wasn't like when we went in for doing the album, where you double your voices and do, doing all the studio
there are still
tricks.
a lot that were like that from the around.
We had some of them we
but
did.
A lot of them were just
just
straight
played
onto the
live.
tape, playing live.
We set up in the studio in the big room and
Play.
just played. They just ran it into the board,
And we'd have
and
headphones
he
on or
mixed
something.
it as it was recorded.
So I'm just curious. I'm always wondering, how were the tapes? Did they have to bake them? They were fine. It was probably free that time.
Let me tell you about the old tapes were real good from the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Once they got into the 80s, they started making these crap tapes, and then they were oxidizing and falling off. But a lot of those older tapes, they hold up they were made by craftsmen.
So you
back
probably
then.
they popped those on the machine and it was just like,
Yes, there it was.
I can only imagine what it was like.
I don't think they baked
Nothing
one
broke.
tape. of Pepper.
Nothing was ruined.
And there were no phasings in and out or dropouts or anything.
That's astounding to have everything come together like that these many years. And as I'm maybe going to reiterate again, the quality of the songs and the prolific nature of you guys' talent, that this is only just the beginning, folks. There's plenty more in the can, am I right?
Yes.
There's probably, we did somewhere around 230 or 40 altogether, and they keep finding more things.
Wow.
But we've only released with around again in this, maybe 60 or 70, and now another 18 here, so that'd be 88, 90. So there's still way over 150 left. Tapes. Yeah.
So, just real quick, since we do want to promote this, how do they find these? Where can you get these?
You can get them here at GetHip.com, and they come in. Get Hip has their own special vinyl, and it's white and powder blue swirl. It's really beautiful, and you can get them at Bandcamp. Blue Ash there. You can get them, I think, on Amazon now too. But the best place is come Get Hip. You get the special one that they've had made for Get Hip. It's beautiful. And they'll have the CDs too everywhere too.
Yeah, the CDs, you can get it in CD format if you prefer that. With
And
two
Get
extra
Hip
tracks.
also has our first album too, in blue vinyl and black too. Really good prices on these.
So anybody, if you're into power pop or just, damn it, it's just damn good music. Go down below. The links are down below. Purchase the record, give Blue Ash some love, and support the band.
And get the books. My book is great.
Yeah, I've
And
read
get Frank's book.
The books.
I will vouch for both of Frank's books. That they're both very entertaining read, and if you want a window into the rock scene of that era, and all the many characters that come and go, and Frank and Jim's experiences being in this band and with Frank with other recording artists. They're very fun reads.
And Get Hip also has autograph books. Yeah. And Amazon has it, Barnes & Noble, all over the world.
And one more thing.
Go ahead.
If you have enough ducats, I'll even bring it personally.
Really? So we did no more, no less. But there was a lot more material that was recorded, I suppose, for the second album, quote unquote.
We had gone in and did demo tapes for Mercury Records, and we had all of that stuff already put together, and we still owned it because they didn't release
Hold up their-
they didn't hold up their end of
That
the
was
deal.
with Halloween Girls, Start All Over Again, things like that. So we did almost
we
the whole
had-
second.
we had a whole-
And we had outtakes from the first album.
Just
and a
about
lot
a
of
whole
that
album.
went on the Around Again CD, the 2 CD thing on Not Lame. And those were track tapes. But there were a lot of other things.
I'm good, thank you. Anyway.
Nat Weiss, who was the Beatles American lawyer, and when John and Paul came and kicked off Apple on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, they stayed at Nat Weiss's apartment, and Nat started a label called Nemperor Records. He heard about
Nemperor Records.
Yes.
Stevie Forber, you had the Romantics.
And he loved Blue Ash. So he came down to Youngstown and hung out with us for a whole weekend, went to see us play, and we set up in Peppermint and just played for him. But the Nat Weiss tapes are great because we used John Grazier, keyboard player, with us, so it sounded really full and it was real cool. And Nat was going to sign us up. It's like 74, 75, and all of a sudden he had a few setbacks, and I talked to him on the phone. He goes, I don't want to hold you guys back, but I love the band. He goes, but I have to do it right with you, and I just can't do it at this time, maybe in a year or so. But just try to get something else. And that's when we got Playboy after that. So, But we almost signed with Nat, which would have been great too. Nemper would have been a great record. But he had so many great Beatles stories, and we love the guy. And like I said, they stayed. That's where Paul McCartney first hooked up with Linda Eastman. Other than the photography things they did at Sgt. Pepper, but at Nat's apartment that he just let them have for a week there.
It's also good when you got the head of the company loves you.
Yeah.
That makes a big difference.
So
if you got a consortium of
You got
ideas,
middlemen. Middlemen.
and they have to come together on a deal, and they didn't pick you and say, this is who I want to make famous.
Another thing that Peppermint has still in the vaults up there as part of those things. Right after we got let go by Mercury, Columbia Records was really interested in us, and they flew us up to New York, and we played in Studio A, the famous where Simon and Garfunkel, Dylan's Highway 61 was recorded, and we played live, and it was a room like this, and they'd bring wooden seats with 20 people would come in, listen to 1 or 2 songs, go back out, and we almost got signed with them, but that fell through for some reason. But those tapes sound great too, and that could be an album. We did.
So they recorded that.
They recorded it and then gave the tapes to Peppermint.
Wow.
Because they didn't sign us, they just gave them the tapes.
It astounds me that with this quality material we already have, there is a treasure trove of unreleased stuff just waiting.
But what was nice with Columbia, since our buddies worked there that got us in there, even though they didn't sign us and all the people that worked there, a lot of them liked us, we got signed to Playboy, but they were part of CBS in Columbia. So they were all working our records. So that's why Front Page News did a lot better than this one. They just sold like 54,000 copies till Playboy just went out of business. So
Yeah, that's the thing. So you were kind of still with them
we were stuck with our
indirectly.
production people Steve Friedman, and and he wasn't doing anything for us, and we didn't want to go back to playing jukebox music.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And
that's when I started playing with Steve after that, and then
Well,
Jim went back to college, and everybody started.
Well, your story's very similar to a lot of bands. There's a lot of bands where they try, they'll do like a record, they'll do 3 records, nothing happens, and at that point they just go, I guess I'm going to have to do something
Make it a
else.
weekend gig deal.
Something, yeah.
And a lot of
If you
bands,
still like playing.
Yeah,
A lot of bands,
totally
they're-
pissed off.
their first album is usually their best because they've had years to accumulate the material, and then the second album is usually a sophomore album is kind of a letdown, and then they get back into the groove again.
Yeah. Well, the whole Mercury thing, once you put that the debut album, I mean, were they like, all right, boys?
Well, we had stuff all ready to go,
Yeah, they paid for a second album, and we did it, and then they didn't do it, so Peppermint still has the tapes and the rights to that because they didn't take the tapes, so that's where some of the stuff came out, like Halloween Girl, that we still do in all of the concerts, and that was really good stuff.
Well, hopefully that second album will see the light of day for the masses.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Those days where Rhino was the king of reissues.
Reissue and stuff.
Rhino is just a shell of what it was.
Yeah.
But man, those labels over there in the UK, Cherry Red's putting out tons of
Yeah,
stuff.
that's all the Blue Ash things are 2 of the Cherry Reds. American Power Pop of the 70s, we got Abracadabra and that, and Industrial Fairgrounds, the Dylan one that just came out about 6 months ago. We're on that. We're the last song on the whole CD set. I have them down in my bag downstairs. And then they did I Want to Be a Teen Again last year, and I've got the Infidels in there that are produced.
I think I've got that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. And it starts off with Bader's Not That Way Anymore.
Yes.
My book!
My book.
Oh, yes. You can read all about it in the
Chapter
book.
17.
Chapter 17.
17 is highly touted.
17 is
But-
highly recommended.
All right, that was a tangent. Where were DC? You have to keep.
We touched on the second album, which
Right.
didn't get a
Right.
release because Mercury shit the bed. But I mean, maybe we want to touch on the Playboy release. You guys sold over 50,000.
Okay.
So there'd be
very
people that would
early
buy that,
on. People were buying that.
All right, I'll do the thing. All right. Well, let's briefly
We
talk.
hit #1 in a couple of little markets
South,
outside
yeah.
Dallas and
So you
stuff like that.
All right, 3, 2, 1. So you guys mentioned the Playboy release. You said what? 50,000 records were pushed,
4,000 is the accounting I got.
and in fact that it sold more than the Mercury debut.
Yes, almost 3 times as much.
3 times as much. How was that whole experience with that record? I mean, how did that Playboy deal come together? Was it from the CBS when you guys were?
Well, partially they ended up with it, but Steve Friedman, who was our producer, he took the tapes out to L.A.
Okay.
and he started just hanging around Playboy the Playboy office building, waiting for Tom Takayoshi, who was the president of it, and tried to give him something for a couple of days. And he goes, "You're out here trying to give me tapes." He goes, "Get in the car." He goes, "Let's take a listen to it."
Okay.
And so he goes, "You must really believe in your band." So he gets in the car and they drive around the block a little bit in LA. He goes, "This is really not bad." He goes, "Let's talk." So they gave us a singles deal, signed it up, and we started getting play in the South and everything. And he sent $3,000 back to us. He goes, "You guys take the money and just go all over Ohio and Pennsylvania." So Jim and I went to every radio station in Pennsylvania. We went for a week. And we picked up over 100 stations. And then Jeff and Cupid went to Ohio and did the same thing in West Virginia, and they got 100 and some stations. So this created this big regional groundswell. And then it started taking off.
A lot of the stations were playing.
And they said, "You guys are selling so good, we're going to fly you out to California and finish the album." So that's how we went out there. And we did it in like August, and Elvis died when we were out there. Yeah, doing that, and so did Francis Gary Powers, the U-2 pilot that was shot down in Russia.
Oh, okay.
He was a weather pilot for like KRLA or something. Anyway, that was there. But we did that, and the album was out in October, and by like January or it started doing really good around Christmas and everything, getting played everywhere. And by January, Playboy just went out of business at the first of the year. So.
just the way it goes.
It's amazing we ever got anything done the way we screwed around in the studio.
Well, you only can do what you can do, Jay.
You guys did. I mean, I'm sure you had your moments, but you weren't a band that was screwing around at your young ages to write the amount of songs you did, to record the amount of things you've done at that high level. You guys weren't screwing around.
No.
You were serious, and
Yeah, we were.
You brought so much top shelf material, and like I said, I was astounded. You guys were 18, 19.
Yeah.
These are originals, folks. These aren't covers that they're doing.
And we were listening to "We'll Live Tomorrow," the kickoff song for this album, and I told Jim, here comes that harmony I hit, and I tried to hit it. My voice just cracked. I couldn't get anywhere near it. I'm not 18 anymore, I guess. I can't believe I hit that
Shit
thing.
ain't happening.
Things changed.
Yeah, Graham Nash would have had a hard time with that one.
So after the Playboy era, what happened with the band after that?
We kept playing a little bit. We played with Robert Gordon up in Cleveland, and with Link Ray when he was with him, and all the guitar players from all over Iron, Pennsylvania are lining up outside the dressing room to get Link Ray's autograph. But we played with Crack the Sky, different bands.
Crack
played,
the Sky.
And a lot of Robin Trower, and who else did we play at the Youngstown Agora? It was Robin Trower.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it
Because they
Trower?
stole the roadies stole Cupid's Down.
Yeah,
That was them, Robert Shaw. Anyway, we played like that. But then we still went back into Peppermint. Our contract was up, but we went in and did She Isn't There, and we did a song we did in my wedding, It's So Easy, that Jim and Cupid played at the wedding too. And but by 79, it was just all falling up. We couldn't get it back to anybody. And Steve Friedman had a chance, I think, to get us with Epic, because they took Mickey Gilley from Playboy, and I think they wanted Blue Ash too, but he was going to try to shop it around, but then it already lost the momentum of the sales. So that was it. And Jim went back to college, Cupid went back to school or something. I started playing with Steve then, and that was about it.
I mean, you just got to the point. I'm assuming you kind of looked
I
at each
had a
other and
little-
went,
Yeah.
I had a little girl, and
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
I can't tell my girl, no, you can't go to the party because I can't afford to buy a kid a gift.
And then we
Yeah.
didn't want to go out and be a cover band again, because we had already
You've
been
done
playing
that.
originals.
you'd already
Yeah.
gotten to that
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
And
It's
nobody
not like
wanted
you
to do
guys
it.
didn't give it your best effort. Sometimes there's
Yeah.
just moments that have to happen, one after another. That building process, for whatever reason, things were a bit askew. You guys certainly poured everything you had into this.
Well, when the Around Again double CD came out in 2004, and Not Lame, we got back to, and we played International Pop Overthrow in Philadelphia. The first time we had all been together 25 years with Evans too, and me playing rhythm guitar. We had Barbie Dark on bass to get the full sound.
Oh, okay.
And then we played a lot of gigs. We played with Mountain and Vanilla Fudge,
yeah.
and did some really cool shows promoting that.
So Jim, after not doing it? Oh, well,
I did.
what were you doing all in between all this?
I went for, I don't know, I think Cupid got a hold of me about 10 years or somewhere along that line. Somewhere in the 90s, we started playing we formed a blues band.
Okay.
We'd go out and just play old blues records, Jeff Beck.
They were really
and,
good.
you
I
know,
saw them a number of times.
We were pretty good, and all we wanted to do was just play on weekend. I was working all the time, and Cupid and those guys, they go, well, they didn't have as hard a job as I did. You know what I mean? Because I was beat when I'd be done.
Yeah.
And they'd want to, play 3-4 times in a week, and I said, I can't do this.
It's okay when you're 18. You can do that all the time.
I mean, but the point is I was working as a carpenter, and I was spent.
That's
I'd
work.
come home and it was grueling out there.
They called their band the Blues Weasels, and also Thaddeus.
What were you called? The Blues
Well,
Weasels?
that was before I joined.
Yeah, then
They were.
Thaddeus Wolfgang, which is
Thaddeus Wolfgang.
his
which
middle
is
names.
My middle name and my son's middle name.
Fantastic.
But from 1990 to 2003, when we started doing
Yeah,
Blue
but-
Ash reunions, I never even picked up a guitar for 13 years.
You did not.
I never.
And I can't even.
And-
Well, were you still writing?
No, I didn't do anything.
You weren't
I had
writing.
a young son. I was coaching baseball, little league, and I didn't do anything with music.
Hockey
And
and
then one day I
shit.
picked up my old Gibson 1966 with 13-year-old strings on it, and I played that riff from the Steve Bader's Ghost Tour, the Debbie Poets. And I thought, shit, now I've got to write this goddamn song. You know?
Look what you did.
And it pulled me back in like the Godfather.
What?
So I wrote that and wrote a couple more, and Pete Revere from the Debbie Poets let me come over and do them acoustically in Tom Saylor, and I did them. And then he goes, well, let's record a few things, and we did that. And we got Terry Hartman in band with two of the Infidels, and I sent them out to Bomb, Susie Shaw, and they said, well, Patrick, who runs a Not Alive record, is that it? Alive Records. Out of Bomb.
I don't know.
And then he goes, we really don't do stuff like, he goes, this is great. He goes, but I have somebody in Japan that would love this. So after 25 years in and not doing anything, and I sent the things out overnight, I get a record contract. So we started doing, they want to sign you up right now, we'll send you money to finish the album. I'm thinking, oh, this is
Fantastic.
So they sent money from Japan, Vivid Sounds, and then we started doing the Blue Ash reunions at the same time too. And then Blue Ash and Debbie Poets went to Spain and played. And Debbie Poets went all over. We got on Little Steven's Underground Garage and got the coolest song in the world 3 times. And they still play the stuff there. So
Yeah, we were talking about it. I was not too long ago. I know, Frank, you and I were talking about it, and they played the Deadbeat Poets not very long ago. They still play Deadbeat Poets.
Still play Blue Ash too, Pal
Yeah.
Meyer. You probably
Pal
met her.
Meyer is fantastic.
I sent her the new album, so we're hoping she'll
Good.
get some.
Yeah, she is so great. I did I'm going a tangent. Anybody on the show already knows this because we did a Banana Split show. And Paul Myra loves all this wacky kind of stuff. I sent her the Hudson Brothers stuff, Bafa, and Totally Out of Control, which I think are masterpieces.
Yeah.
And everybody listening to this knows that. And I sent her, did I send her the Banana Split? No, I think I just sent her the Hudson Brothers stuff because, well, I don't have to go into it, but those Hudson Brothers albums, I mean, they sold their souls to the devil because of the TV thing.
Yeah.
But as they started out as musicians.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
they
Hell, say
became
what
the
you-
monkeys.
Yeah.
Well, say what
Well,
you will about
they sold their souls for devil for $5,000 a week for
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah.
But you do have to, you do what you have to do. But those
But they were
records that were on
actually
Rocket,
quality musicians.
oh,
Yeah.
fantastic power pop, Beatle-esque,
Yeah.
ELO. It is top notch.
I couldn't get past the television show.
Yeah.
Well,
I
see,
know
that's
very
the
little
problem,
bit.
Jim.
That song,
First
So
time
You
I
Are a
saw it, I was
Star,
like,
that's a
Well, if you
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
So You Are a Star,
Yeah.
you'll love all of it.
Yeah. Oh, I've heard all of it. Yeah.
But it's fantastic.
Yeah, oh, yeah, good stuff.
But see, they sold their souls to the devil, and then people couldn't take them seriously as musicians.
Yeah.
But they were all, you mean, they're brothers, so they can do all those harmonies.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Hey,
fantastic.
Grant, pick me.
Well, say what you will about Playboy Records, but it comes full circle. Blue Ash and the Hudson Brothers,
Yeah.
they had an eye for talent, so you got to
Sure.
give them that.
Yeah.
Oh, we were doing,
despite-
you'll love this, the front page news album, Hamilton, Joe, Frank, and Reynolds
Yes.
came in the studio. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
What's that
They
story?
wanted to, they just wanted to come in and meet fellow bandmates, and they were real cool. Yeah. Don't throw your love out on me, baby. But that would happen. Of course, that would happen a lot back then. Famous people would just pop in like that in the studios in Miami and there.
Who popped in? It was a soul artist. Was it Bobby Womack? Or
No,
who?
no, down in
Wilson Pickett.
Philadelphia.
Wilson Pickett.
And we're doing the We'll Live Tomorrow, and we did the harmonies. He was in the studio next door, and he wanted to come in and listen. And he's listening. He's got that Wilson Pickett smile, and he's listening to Bob and Ryan. He goes, you know what? He goes, you guys aren't bad. He goes, for white boys. And we started out. So that was our
With
Wilson
the gold
Pickett.
record sitting behind him, what are you going to say to the guy?
Okay.
Well, I'm just curious. I'm going to ask Jim just because I just have was this whole point in all of this studio time, playing different events, playing with all these bands. I think Frank and I have kind of talked about it, but was there anything in that whole era that really stood out to you, like moments that you were just like you wanted to pinch yourself that you couldn't realize that you were?
Yeah.
When we went to New
Here
York.
we go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Here I am on 57th Street at Mercury Records.
Yeah.
stealing all the records I could out of their vaults. It was beautiful.
Because you're just a kid.
I'm still, 20 years old, big deal,
Yeah, but you probably never thought you'd even,
We always thought we were going to be famous.
okay.
Yeah, even in 9th grade. And Jim would tell us, so we'd
write a song.
Me and Warner
and we'd
moved
say,
to Pittsburgh.
oh, this is going to sell millions.
We were
We'll be as
ninth
big
grade.
as the Beatles.
we would walk down the street. We had the harmonies. So, we would do stuff like Beatle harmonies, of course, but we would do hard stuff like Ragdoll by Four Seasons.
Really?
And we could nail it just right down the
I
street.
don't doubt it.
Really?
I don't doubt it.
Or Beach Boys, we would just 4-part harmonies. You could just do.
You could do that. Oh,
We
my
would walk
Lord.
around the town doing that. Do the harmonies,
Like
That's
the
how
old
we.
acapella groups
Yeah.
in Harlem and stuff.
Now, that's why Bob Mack signed us up, because you just had this harmonies like the old time band, because he did all the doo-wop bands and all that.
We used to piss all the football players off.
Really?
Because we'd be up there, the girls would come around us because we'd be singing, going to the football game, and, those guys hated us.
Yeah.
But it resonates more with their soul than some dude tackling another dude.
Yeah.
The music touches your soul.
That's fantastic. So that was like one of the biggest moments, just being
Just
in
being
New
there
York.
in a studio or an office, with the guy that's running this, this whole corporation and everything. And he's sitting there talking to me like, we were buddies.
One of my favorite ones is when we met Yoko.
Okay.
We were in New York, me and Jim and Jeff Jones, our manager, were ready to go home. I picked up the Village Voice. I go, Yoko's it. And John had just gone in his lost weekend, like a few days before. She's playing with the Elephant's Memory guys. I think that's who they were, at Kenny's Castaway. So look, we go down there. So we go down there, and it's sold out. So we're standing on this street corner, right in front of the place, and all of a sudden David Johansen comes around the corner.
Yeah.
He goes, "What's wrong?" Yeah, it's sold out. And then 2 minutes later, Elliot Murphy comes around the corner. So we're all there standing, and this guy comes out. He goes, "Oh, Ash." He goes, "Oh, you guys." He goes, "I work for Yoko." He goes, "Don't worry." He goes, "I'll get you in." So that's cool. So he gets us in, and all of a sudden we watched the show, and it was pretty funny. And I remember the funny thing Yoko did. She had a bucket, and she goes, "Everybody puke in the bucket and just pass it around." And I thought that was pretty funny.
Didn't sound very hygienic.
Well, artistic wise.
She was like weird artistic.
Yeah, the fine arts. I know those people.
So this guy, I think his name was Jerry.
This is different.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make it good.
No.
He takes us backstage, and there's Yoko, and she wants to do a picture with us. And she goes, and Jeff gives her an autograph, an album, and she goes, "Oh, you guys got to autograph it for me." I'm thinking, this is too freaking weird, So Jim and I are writing stuff on it and everything, and took the picture. And Andy Warhol was there.
He wasn't there.
They're all in the dressing room.
It's because it was Yoko's opening.
And
That was the first time that
she
her
ever
band
played
was
out
playing.
but that.
And
So.
also,
It was
the
a
ghost of JFK showed up.
So what
We
year
were
was this then,
astounded.
probably?
This is 73.
73, okay.
Bob Gruen, their photographer, so he snaps a picture, Jeff snaps a picture, but Bob Gruen's pictures went to all the magazines. They're Rolling Stone and
the three of us, Yoko, me and Frank.
and all of a sudden, we're playing in Philadelphia, opening up for the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, and they bust into the dressing room and they go, "We got to meet Yoko's favorite band."
Well, didn't John champion your debut, if I remember right?
Yeah, I don't know all about that, but
Well, what's the story? Go ahead, DC.
I remember that John loved that debut album.
I know he loved the Raspberries too.
Well, he would throw those little salvos out there, and you would just read clips, because this is prior to the internet, folks. But I'd be reading some music magazine, and John Lennon's touting the Raspberries, or says, I love the new Blue Ash, the debut, that kind of stuff.
A lot of it was due to doing Any Time at All.
And
we had a killer version of it.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a great John Lennon story with, I told this to Lisa a little while ago. Eric Carmen's at this party right when the Raspberries came out. He's at a party in New York, and John Lennon's there. He's across the room. He's kind of looking at him. He's afraid to say anything before he'd met him later on. And he's just kind of, you get real intimidated around people like that. I know I did. We're on the Stones. And so Lennon's leaving the party and he walks up to Eric, and Eric's sitting there, and he grabs him by the jowls like this, and he starts singing in his face. He goes, "Please go all the way." And he slaps him on the face. He goes, "You clever boy, you," and walks out of the party.
Now that will stay with you.
There's a better one that Johnny Ramone told me one time. And he goes, "We're playing in New York."
Fantastic.
He goes, "I just get off the stage." He goes, "This old limey guy comes up to me." He goes, and he goes, "I'm kind of like out of it there." He goes, "I just wanted to come up and tell you." He goes, "How much I really enjoyed your band." He goes, "You remind me of my old band when we were starting out with the leather coats and everything." And he goes, "Oh, okay." He goes, and he's walking away from me, Frank. He goes, he goes, "Holy shit!" He goes, "That was John Lennon."
John's probably thinking, "Well, it wasn't much impressed."
No, they don't look the same. When you see famous people, a lot of times, you've met them too.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you see somebody, all of a sudden they're there. Oh, that's him. Yeah.
Well, and you haven't seen anything except
Pictures.
a good picture
Yeah.
of him.
Yeah.
With,
Everybody tends to look like crap when you see him in real
John
life.
probably walked away thinking, "Well,
Yeah,
he
they
wasn't
just
very
walk down the
impressed."
streets of New York with the wind blowing
Yeah.
200 mile an hour. You know what I mean? You know.
Yeah.
Those are some great stories, man.
Oh my God.
Oh, before we get too far,
Go ahead.
I do want to say we've been talking about all these records, but we do have the Pete records yet.
In the last-
PBRM,
in the-
ASAP.
And about the last 8 years, we've been doing them off and on. We did them in Amphion recording it.
PBR.
And we even did, finally fleshed out A Million Miles Away that Mike Monroe did and Stiv did. But it was originally a Blue Ash song, so Jim's singing it, and it sounds fantastic. We have a lot of new ones. Cousin Dickie's Shirt and Never Surrender, a lot of really good stuff. We need 2 more songs, so we're probably going to do them. We're talking about doing them with Pete and maybe at Peppermint too, and do the 2 more, and we'll have a brand new Blue Ash and the stuff.
that is
I will send you, when you get back, I will send you some things of it, and it'll blow your mind.
Hey Greg, how did you put it earlier about the album in the can?
It's still in the can.
It's still in the can.
So what?
When did you do the first sessions with Leon?
2015.
Okay, so that's even earlier than us.
Yeah.
We got.
Yeah, we started
I will
this
send it to you. You guys will be amazed at this. It's
before
good
we went to Spain.
Yeah, we started
And
there.
that was 10 years ago.
I got a new thing coming out with Dead Boys when I was in the band too. It's coming out next Record Store Day. Dead to Rights. It's called on Liberation Hall Records.
When you were in the Dead Boys.
Yeah, when I was in, I just signed the contracts for that. So it'll be us at Berkeley, California live and playing for what's his name, the San Francisco guy, Bill Graham at Warfield Fox, and pretty cool stuff. It's called Dead to Rights, and it'll be out next Record Store.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And
So
then they're going to release 3 or 4 more of these from Peppermint too. So these will be coming out every year or so, maybe quicker.
Excellent. All right.
I would want to call it the next one Dinner.
My tree.
It's his tree, folks. He'll gladly sign it for you if you run into him.
If you run into him
a while.
anywhere, he'll
Don't
sign
put
it.
those stickers on my tree.
When I go downstairs, I'm going to get one so you can. I got to have you
Up the
sign it.
tree.
My tree.
So anyway, there's a lot coming up. DC, do you have anything else? We've kind of.
No, this is the capper of just something that I never thought would ever happen to me as a youngster in 1973. Here I am, lo, these many years later, meeting my local musical heroes.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I would be in my bedroom, put track 1, side 1 on, and then just look at these cats. Blue Ash.
Oh, for sure.
And-
Yes, it's Grant's Rock Warehouse
Here
on
we
the
are.
road, ladies and gentlemen. So yes, we are in
Making me
Pittsburgh.
blush.
So anyway,
It's
I
the
guess
Rock Warehouse Roadshow.
it is.
There you go. Put that on a t-shirt.
I'm sure we'll get Jim and Frank back on the show since Frank's been on here multiple
Oh
times.
yeah, I always love it coming on.
Anyway, we'll get Frank back. We'll get Jim on. Hell, what the hell? We'll even let him on a show.
Him and his tree.
In his tree. Anyway, go.
I'll be Spanky's Weezer. Okay.
All right, so go check out the Blue Ash. The links are down below. Check out the recent re-releases. Hold them up. Hold those up there, gentlemen. So yes, no more, no less.
And my butt.
Chapter 17, folks.
17, baby.
Not that way anymore. Oh, by the way, Billy Joe Armstrong recorded that, covered that during the COVID thing. My song, Not That Way.
He did?
Yeah, it's on the No Fun Mondays thing. I just bought it for my son Jake downstairs.
Yeah, I heard that.
Fantastic.
Yeah, good stuff. He did a great job.
All right, kids, we're going to wrap this dog up. I want to thank Frank and Jim for
Thank you.
Blue Ash,
Thank you
kids.
guys for coming to
for
Pittsburgh.
talking.
Oh, who